beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I'm Selena Elamoon, the founder of the Soulpreneur Institute. I'm an intuitive coach and a intuitive healer for business professionals who are doing something that they love and aligning with their soul's truth while also being successful in a practical way. I like to merge the spirituality with the practicality, and I do readings here. So for those of you guys who are entrepreneurs, those of you guys who are on the spiritual path as entrepreneurs, you really want to follow the call of your soul as it comes to building your business, let me tell you, you're in the right place. I'm sorry, I have a cold right now. I'm processing all kinds of stuff on a personal level, but psychically, emotionally, I feel much better than I have. So looking forward to doing this reading. All right, let's get started. So you're going through a moment right now where you need to take a time out, all right? Like a lot has happened. And I feel like one of the things that has taken place here is that you've gone through a big completion cycle. This completion cycle was a whole era of your life where you were operating from a place of needing to perform, needing to put yourself out there in accordance with how you felt the world would receive you, or what you even felt comfortable showing of yourself, because that's where your consciousness was at. That's really just where you felt safe and where you felt like you could put yourself out from. And that's totally fine, right? That's totally fine for that paradigm that you were in. But you just broke through this paradigm, which means that you can't continue this way anymore. And it's time for you to have a little bit of patience right now, because what's happening is that you're going through such a massive upgrade in your consciousness. And this massive upgrade in your consciousness is going to help you see beyond the illusions that you have been living in. You know, sometimes we think we're living this free life, we think we're being authentic. And then all of a sudden, something happens where we realize, oh my God, I'm totally not living my most authentic self. I'm living in a box, or, you know, I'm living in a way that isn't actually congruent with where my soul's desire is leading me. And that's kind of a hard wake up call that I think a lot of you guys have already been through. But it's like, now you're at the season of like, now what? You're in your now what season, but the now what season is actually taking place on the energetic levels first, because things always take place energetically before they start to hit us in our emotional body and our mental body, and then in our physical reality. And what we're doing is we're recalibrating. We've gone through this rebirth and we're recalibrating now. And part of that recalibration is like, what illusions have you been living in? Right? Like I just finished with one of my clients right now. She's about to like go full on out there with her brand and storytelling and sharing who she is through her product. And one of the things that we were looking at is, why is this so difficult for her? And one of the things that we found out was that, you know, she grew up with a lot of criticism when it came to videos and photos and things like that. And that's what was the box that she was living in, is that people criticize. And she wasn't seeing her value as somebody who is shining their light through their photos or through their videos. She was seeing it as though she was putting herself in a vulnerable situation. So we had to recalibrate her consciousness to be able to see that, well, it doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is what you think. And what matters is that you're in alignment with your higher consciousness and where God is guiding you to go and how God is guiding you to share. And if other people don't agree with it or they don't resonate with it, that has nothing to do with you, right? And so we did energy clearing around that. And then all of a sudden she felt like all this openness, and we got into the actual practical elements. Okay, like, what is divine to share, and what's a good structural approach, and where should she put her videos, and that kind of thing. But first we had to do this clearing. And the reason it's so important for you to go through this clearing cycle right now is because you are actually being upgraded. And you're getting a lot of light codes coming through right now. Maybe you're feeling like you're just waking up feeling a little bit different every day. And it seems as though there's something about you that is also changing fundamentally. Like when I say fundamentally, I mean it's like something that is like you're gonna click in some way and it's never gonna go back, right? Like I almost see like a like a turtle turning into a lion, right? Like a turtle kind of moves slowly and it's just a little bit more cautious. And it's got its shell, so it's like very protected, and it's not very big. Well, in some cases it is very big, but in most cases maybe not. And then a lion is like this like huge roaring energy, like king and queen of the jungle, and it moves quickly, but it also rests a lot. And so like it looks like the way that you operate in your divine rhythms are going to change. Maybe you're going to have like these quick bursts of energy and then you're going to need to rest more. Or maybe what's also going to happen is you're going to feel more vocal and you're going to feel much more comfortable in front of people and putting yourself out there. And this is going to make a huge difference because you're going to be doing it in a different energy, you know. There's something about the way that you're showing up that is going to feel so special. It's going to feel like, I almost feel like it's going to feel natural and fluid, but it hasn't felt natural and fluid. So in the beginning, you're going to be like, oh, it's that easy. Like that's all I had to do. But then it's like, oh, okay, that's really not that difficult, right? And then the maturity card came out as well. So I feel like when you overcome this suppression, whatever it is that this, you know, this illusion has caused this suppression, right? When you come out of that, you're going to enter this cycle of maturity, right? And you're going to be asked to show the world the real you. There's elements of you that are starting to come out that are not like who you were. People are going to be kind of thrown off. I have a feeling some of you guys are going to really throw your circles off. They're going to be like, where did you come from? Like you weren't like this yesterday or like a week ago. And you're like, well, it's been building up, but you don't got to justify yourself to anyone. Just follow your heart and soul and don't let pride get in your way. Because if you start getting really prideful, the humility factor is going to start to interrupt your capacity to be authentic. All right. So this is a really cool cycle that you're in. You're really taking this time to breathe out right now. And one of the cards here is that your passions will lead to your divine life purpose. It's important to do what you love with confidence. All right. This card has been sitting in the background energy for a while where it's like, okay, this is what I do, but there's something going on in the background where it's like, it really needs to emerge. I feel like a lot of soulpreneurs right now are going through a big change where you're going to have to realize that who you were and how you were operating isn't where you're being guided to next. It's like a completely different cycle. Like I feel like you're going to be doing something different. You're going to be working with a whole new kind of person. You're going to be interacting in spaces and environments that are not necessarily places you've been before. And this is very good for your soul. And it's also going to help other people that get to interact with you. You're gonna have a lot of things to do pretty soon here. Like you got to get organized, okay? The codes are coming through. You guys are getting insights and information. Those divine downloads, you know, those aha moments where you wake up and you're like, oh, this is gonna happen to me. I just feel it. Or this is the direction I have to take my business. I just feel it. Like write those things down because they're bubbling inside of you, not to make you think you're crazy, but to actually validate that this is where your soul is asking you to go. And before you know it, you're going to be taking action. You're going to have a lot of things to do. You're going to have so many wonderful things you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to get really organized. Okay. So I'm feeling like this is going to happen over the next month. And I'm feeling like your job right now is to really speak to what's close to your heart. Okay. Whatever is close to your heart, whatever is resonating with you, whatever is vibrating with you, speak to that. Okay. Even if nobody listens, there's always going to be one person that is going to vibrate with what you're putting out there. That person might not like or comment or, you know, respond to what you put out there in a very physical way, but it's going to affect them in a positive way. And as you know, we're all connected. And the deeper we affect each other in a way that is creating change and shifts on this planet, the more we're all feeling that collectively. Okay. We are collectively supporting each other's evolutions by following our hearts. So that's why it's so important to follow our heart, because by following our heart, we're actually contributing to the evolution of humanity because our heart has that God guidance in it, right? That's where our resonance, our core resonance sits inside of our heart space. So if we're in touch with that heart space, we're going to get a lot of momentum. We're going to get a lot of that inspiration start to come through. And this inspiration is really going to create a movement in its own right. And you're somebody that's going to have to actually figure out how you want to operate and run this movement with some structure and to be able to actually execute it in a way that is practical and aligned with your divine rhythm. That's going to be what you're going to figure out. And that's why you need to take a time right now to breathe out. That's why you can't jump into this right away, because the elements are still coming through. The information is still dropping in. things are a bit slow maybe, but I promise you they're about to move really fast. And I have a feeling that in a month or two from now, you're going to be so busy doing this new thing that you're going to be like, wow, I'm really glad that I took that time out. Okay, so give yourself the opportunity to let these downloads come in. Make sure you write them down or just sit with them and meditate on them, and honor what's coming through, honor what it is that you're being asked to do, and remember that it's time for you to show the world who you really are. Stop holding yourself back, because when you hold yourself back, you actually hold the world back. Okay. The world needs the real you, because in order for humanity to evolve, we have to be here as who we are, projecting the light that God has put in us. Right. And if we're not really projecting that light, if we're just protecting that light, what's happening? What's happening energetically? No one's accessing the light that you have to help humanity to progress. And you probably don't realize how powerful you are, but you are playing a role, and you are here to play a role as a soulpreneur. All right. So if you guys want more inspiration, if you want to work in alignment with a community who thinks like this, who operates like this, check out the soulpreneurinstitute.com. And we'd love to have you in our space. We do weekly live calls in there. There's over 200 classes and recordings on how to get organized in your business, how to connect with your heart and its guidance, how to create in a practical way that's also spiritual. If you're looking to create more wealth in your life, you can get into the wealth code activations, 33 codes in 33 days. I've channeled these codes to help other people step into their divine wealth. It is a process, but it is worth it if you're somebody who's really serious about connecting back to your divine blueprint when it comes to being an epic receiver. And this work is going to really do a number on you, because you deserve the abundance that you're calling in, and you deserve to be a clear channel for that abundance. All right. So definitely check that out, wealthcodeactivations.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.